Whole UK is talking about this audition, emotional golden buzzer moment you can't miss. Glowing star. The rain hadn't stopped for hours, tapping gently against the glass walls of the arena as hundreds of people gathered for the biggest audition night of the season. Backstage, 14-year-old Maya Bennett sat quietly on a folding chair, her hands trembling over her worn-out guitar, the same one her late father had given her on her 10th birthday. She wasn't there to win fame or applause, she was there because of a promise. And that promise was the reason the entire UK would be talking about her by the next morning. Maya had always been soft-spoken, the kind of girl who preferred sketchbooks in quiet corners. But after her father passed away in a tragic accident 2 years earlier, she withdrew deeper into herself. Music became her only way of speaking, and the guitar he left behind became her last connection to him. Her mother worked double shifts just to keep the lights on, but she always made sure Maya kept playing. "Your voice can carry hope," she'd say. "Don't hide it." Tonight, Maya wasn't singing for herself, she was singing to help her mother breathe easier. When her name was called, she stepped onto the massive stage, her small figure swallowed in the spotlight. The crowd murmured, intrigued by the shy teenager whose eyes shimmered with a mixture of fear and determination. The judges smiled politely, expecting another sweet but forgettable audition. But then Simon leaned forward. There was something different about her. Something fragile yet unbreakable. "What are you here for today?" one judge asked. Maya held the microphone tightly. "I'm here to share a song I wrote for someone who saved me," she said softly. "My dad." Her voice broke just slightly, but she steadied herself. The arena fell silent. She lifted the guitar and strummed the first chord, soft, shaky, but filled with sincerity. The melody was simple, almost delicate, but her voice carried a warmth that seemed to reach every corner of the room. It wasn't the kind of performance built for show, it was built from truth. Every lyric painted a story of a father who believed in her even when she couldn't believe in herself. A father who gave his last ounce of energy to protect his family. A father whose echoes lived in her voice. Halfway through the song, something unexpected happened. A young boy in the audience, around 10, wearing a small hearing aid, stood up. His mother tried to pull him back down, embarrassed, but the boy wasn't causing trouble. He was crying. The judges noticed, and so did Maya. The boy raised his small hand toward the stage and whispered loud enough for those around him to hear, "I can feel her song, even if I can't hear it." The audience gasped. Maya's fingers froze for a moment. She blinked through tears. No one knew it, but her father had been partially deaf. He used to place his hand on her guitar to hear the music through vibrations. That's how he taught her, through feeling, not sound. The boy's words completely broke her open. She closed her eyes and continued singing, this time with a strength that didn't come from her lungs, but from her soul. Her voice grew fuller, richer, like she suddenly remembered exactly why her father had fought so hard to keep music in her life. By the time she finished, the arena was on its feet. People weren't just clapping, they were crying, hugging strangers, lifting their hands in the air as if releasing something heavy inside them. The warmth in the room felt almost holy. The judges were speechless. One wiped tears. Another whispered, this is why we do this show." Then Simon stood. Not just stood, he stepped forward, shaking his head in disbelief. "Maya," he said, struggling to keep his composure, "you didn't just sing. You reminded every single person in this room what real love sounds like." And then, without hesitation, he slammed the golden buzzer. The burst of gold confetti rained over her like a blessing. Maya covered her face, trembling as her mother ran from backstage and wrapped her in the tightest embrace. The audience roared even louder, cheering for a girl who had walked in with a promise and walked out with a nation's heart. But the moment that truly stayed with everyone happened afterward. The little boy who had stood up earlier approached Maya as the staff guided her off stage. He placed his hand on her guitar, just like her father once did, and whispered, "I heard your dad." Maya knelt down, tears streaming uncontrollably. "I think he heard you too," she whispered back. That night became more than just an audition. It became a reminder that kindness echoes further than sound, that love outlives loss, and that sometimes the smallest gestures, a boy standing up, a hand on a guitar, create waves large enough to touch millions. Across the UK and far beyond, people shared her story not because she won, but because she healed something in them. A nation buzzing with routine and noise suddenly paused to feel again. And as the clip continued to go viral worldwide, one message resonated above everything else. Hope is never lost as long as someone is willing to share their light.